The teasers dropped, the fandom went silent. In an instant, the entire K-pop world was turned upside down. Welcome to Starscope K-Report. Join Eric and Minji as they ride the Hallyu wave, uncovering the biggest K-pop comebacks, shocking industry controversies, and major K-drama updates. From internet-breaking rumors to historic chart milestones, we dive deep into the world of Korean entertainment.
And, I mean, there is honestly no deeper end of the pool today than V's massive Jinro deal. The cultural weight of this just cannot be overstated.
Right. Today, our mission for this deep dive is unpacking that massive headline that's basically dominating YouTube and, well, every fan forum right now.
Oh, you mean the V's $100 million deal, why HYBE is scared video?
Exactly that one. Because the implications of this ambassadorship stretch so far beyond just a simple commercial shoot. We are going to break down the official statements from HiteJinro, analyze the domestic versus international fan reactions,
And we really need to talk about the massive updates from the BTS ARIRANG World Tour, too.
yeah, plus we've got some breaking news from SM Entertainment and Ador later on.
It is a packed deep dive today, for sure.
Definitely. So let's just jump right into it and break down the sheer scale of what is happening with this Jinro deal. Because, according to reports from Business Korea and the Korea Herald, V is officially the first ever global ambassador for Jinro's Chamisul.
First ever, which is huge. And he is stepping in to replace their longtime domestic ambassador.
Right, the legendary soloist IU.
Yeah, replacing IU is like a cultural reset in itself. She has been the face of that brand forever.
She really has. But to understand why this is generating those massive, $100 million clickbait headlines, you have to look at the staggering logistics of Jinro as a corporation.
Oh, the numbers are insane.
They really are. They have been the world's best-selling spirit for 25 consecutive years.
Wait, 25 years?
25 years. In 2025 alone, they sold 94.5 million cases.
Wow.
And if you break down the math on that, they are moving roughly 12 bottles a second.
12 bottles a second. I literally can't even process that volume. It's staggering.
It is. But the thing is, the domestic Korean market is heavily saturated now.
Right, which is exactly why HiteJinro is pivoting hard into what they're calling Global Vision 2030.
Yeah. What's the goal with that?
So their explicit goal is to hit 500 billion won in overseas sales. They are literally building a massive state-of-the-art production plant in Thái Bình province in Vietnam.
Oh, wow. An entire new plant just for this.
Yeah, it's scheduled to open in 2026. The whole strategy is to establish Southeast Asia as their primary stronghold before scaling globally.
Which brings us to that $100 million figure everyone is throwing around online.
Exactly. That refers to an unprecedented export milestone Jinro just hit for a single Soju item.
Right.
So they basically need a global face to carry that 500 billion won ambition. And V is arguably the only idol with the cross-cultural penetration to pull it off.
For sure. And I think the visual execution of that strategy is what really sent the fandom into an absolute frenzy this week.
Oh my gosh, the teaser.
Yeah. The 19-second teaser video dropped, and it opens with these sleek elevator doors parting.
And there he is, the new visual.
Holding a Jinro box. He's wearing this effortlessly cool black leather jacket over an unbuttoned striped shirt. But honestly, the focal point wasn't even the product.
No, it was the hair. The iconic Oreo hair made its return.
Yes.
Like black on top, platinum blonde underneath. And, this requires some deep stand context for anyone not on Twitter 24/7.
Right. Give us the lore.
So this is a legendary blink-and-you-miss-it look. It was last seen very briefly during the Mexico stop of the BTS ARIRANG World Tour back on May 7th.
After that one stop.
Yeah, before he suddenly changed it to a dirty blonde style by the time they hit the Busan concert on June 12th.
That's crazy that fans track it that
Oh,
close.
they track everything. So the fact that Jinro chose to immortalize this specific hyper-niche fan favorite era in his very first campaign teaser, that is a masterstroke.
It really proves their marketing team is actively monitoring fandom lore, right? They're using his visual history as basically a cultural weapon.
Exactly. And the reactions confirm that the strategy totally worked. International fans and K-nets are equally losing their minds online.
Oh, did you see that one tweet from an Indian fan?
The action movie one.
Yeah, it went incredibly viral. They said the aesthetic looks like he's filming a movie where he has to, quote, fight for Jinro.
I love that so much. And Japanese fans were publicly thanking the brand for resurrecting the two-tone hair.
It's hilarious, but it really highlights his sheer dominance as the most in-demand idol on the planet right now. I mean, he's balancing 9 major ambassadorships.
Celine, Cartier, Compose Coffee, and now literally the biggest soju brand in the world.
Which actually brings up a really fascinating contradiction, especially if you look at the discussions happening on the Army Neutral subreddit right now.
Oh, about his drinking habits.
Yeah. Fans are quick to point out that V has famously stated on camera multiple times that he severely dislikes the taste of coffee.
Right, despite being the face of Compose Coffee.
Exactly. And furthermore, historically, he has never been known as a heavy drinker.
No, not at all. There's that famous clip from their travel show where he actively declines soju and genuinely asks the other members what it even feels like to drink it.
Right. So choosing a non-coffee drinker for Compose Coffee and a notoriously light drinker for a major liquor brand seems, well, completely counterintuitive.
It does at first glance.
I mean, that feels like the crux of the issue. The immediate cynical assumption is that it's just a transactional cash grab. Like, why hire someone who doesn't even consume your product to be the global face of it?
Because it completely shifts the optics of the product. From a corporate perspective, choosing an ambassador known as a light or responsible drinker is actually a brilliant defensive move for a liquor brand.
How so?
Well, global alcohol brands are under immense regulatory pressure right now to push a drink responsibly narrative. What better way to embody that than with a global icon who treats alcohol as an occasional aesthetic luxury rather than a necessity?
That makes a lot of sense.
Plus, V did mention in a post-military update that he drinks a bit more now.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, specifically lighter fruit-flavored soju and wine. It elevates soju from just a cheap pub staple into like a curated lifestyle choice.
That reframing makes so much sense. They aren't selling the alcohol, they are selling the aura.
Exactly. The aura.
But, you know, when a corporation effectively buys your aura to plaster on every restaurant, cafe, and alleyway in Korea, a dangerous psychological shift happens. The public subconsciously stops seeing you as a human being and starts seeing you as a public utility.
Oof, yeah, that is so true.
And that's not even the wildest part of this deep dive. Wait till you hear what netizens uncovered about the members' private time in Germany. We're heading to the ARIRANG World Tour right after this.
Yeah, because we saw the dangerous reality of that psychological shift manifest this week during the European leg of the tour. The contrast between the meticulously controlled environment of a commercial shoot and the absolute chaos of the ARIRANG World Tour, it's just jarring.
It really is. I mean, BTS is currently taking over Europe, having just played the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London.
Which looked incredible, by the way.
Incredible. And that was followed by massive back-to-back shows in Munich on July 11th and 12th. The hype surrounding these dates has been historic.
Oh, totally. The viral moments coming out of those sound checks are pure gold for the fandom.
Did you see the Jimin clip?
The Munich sound check, where he completely broke the internet by flawlessly channeling the famous Erling Haaland walk.
Yes. It was so good. He spotted a fan holding up a massive banner crossing Haaland with Thor, and his immediate unscripted reaction was just incredible.
And what's crazy is that specific moment leaped out of the K-pop bubble and crossed over into mainstream sports media.
Oh, really?
Yeah. FC Bayern Munich's official account actually shared a video of their legendary goalkeeper Manuel Neuer and other players holding a BTS army bomb.
No way. Manuel Neuer with an army bomb.
Yes, the cultural synergy peaked when the admin of the Bayern account confessed in the comments that their bias is Taehyung.
That is the perfect illustration of the Hallyu Wave's reach right there.
It really is.
But unfortunately, the reality on the ground for the members in Munich has been incredibly grim outside of those fun moments.
Yeah, it's been really upsetting to watch unfold.
According to reports from Sportskita, there is massive domestic and international fan outrage right now over severe privacy invasions.
It's just so out of hand.
Multiple videos of V, Jungkook, Jimin, Jin, and J-Hope during their private off-the-clock time in Munich have gone completely viral. People are filming them at their hotels, tracking them on the streets, and completely invading the tiny slivers of downtime they have between these massive stadium performances.
It forced a massive rallying cry within the broader fandom. The phrase privacy is a human right was trending for days.
Which is a devastating baseline to have to establish for another human being.
It really is. Fans are pulling up V's past posts on Weverse, where he literally had to beg people to stop gathering at their hotels and tracking their flight manifests.
This highlights the ultimate paradox of the Hallyu Wave, don't you think? On one hand, you have veteran educators going viral for analyzing Jimin, calling him a moving character textbook because his profound empathy, his work ethic, and his role model behavior.
Right.
But on the other hand, segments of the fandom treat these members, including the Mekna Jungkook, as public property. How do you reconcile that?
Honestly, it all comes down to the industry's foundational business model, which is manufacturing intimacy.
Right. The parasocial relationship.
Exactly. K-pop agencies sell the idea that these idols are your best friends, your confidants.
Yeah.
The parasocial bond is literally the product. So when a group like BTS reaches unprecedented global fame, that manufactured intimacy scales up with them.
That makes sense.
And, the vast majority of the fandom respects boundaries and admires their character, as you mentioned, with the educator. But a toxic minority takes that marketed intimacy completely literally.
They view the idol not as a person, but as a subscription service they've paid into.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Like, if you buy the albums, the Jinro Soju, and the Cartier jewelry, some fans feel entitled to 247 access to the artist's life.
Precisely. When an idol's image is that ubiquitous, the psychological barrier between the public commodity on the billboard and the private human being trying to eat lunch in Munich completely dissolves for those toxic fans. It's a heavy, dangerous burden for the artist to carry.
It really is. And hey, if you love staying updated on your favorites and deep diving into the realities of the Hallyu wave, make sure you subscribe to Starscope K-Report. We've got even bigger scoops ahead.
Please subscribe, guys.
Because while BTS is dealing with the immense pressures of a global scale, the domestic key entertainment scene is facing shockwaves of its own across multiple major agencies.
The current K-pop agency landscape feels incredibly unstable right now.
It does.
We have major updates from SM Entertainment, HYBE, ADOR, and KQ Entertainment that are completely altering the ecosystem.
I look at the agency landscape right now, and it operates a lot like a massive game of Jenga, or like legacy software.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Yeah, groups like NCT were built on foundational code-specific lore, subunits, and highly calculated regional expansions.
Yeah.
But this week, SM Entertainment announced that WinWin is officially leaving the agency and ending all of his NCT activities.
Ugh, my heart broke for NCTzens when that dropped.
Right. You pull out a core line of code like WinWin, and it doesn't just make the group look different. It threatens to crash the fan economy built on top of that architecture.
It is a devastating blow, and it alters the landscape for third and fourth generation K-pop in a really profound way.
How so?
Well, WinWin has been a foundational pillar, specifically serving as a vital bridge to the Chinese market through Wavy.
Right, the regional strategy.
Yeah. His departure isn't just about losing an incredibly talented dancer and visual. When a core member leaves a group with such a complex, interwoven subunit system, it severs a vital artery for the agency's regional strategy. It forces the entire fandom to recalibrate their understanding of the group's identity.
It definitely creates a massive ripple effect of anxiety about the stability of other legacy groups. Which brings us to the situation with HYBE and ADOR.
Right, and we should preface this by saying we are looking at this strictly from a factual, legal standpoint.
Exactly. We were just reporting the facts of the suit here. ADOR is currently reviewing internal records because New Jeans' hit song ETA, which, by the way, achieved a massive historic chart, all kill.
A total bop.
Right. But it has now been hit with a U.S. copyright infringement suit.
And this specific legal development is exactly why we are seeing headlines about HYBE being scared.
Why is a U.S. suit so much worse?
Because a copyright suit in the United States is a vastly different beast than a civil dispute in South Korea. The U.S. federal court system allows for brutal discovery processes and massive statutory damages.
I see.
The fact that a Western publisher is targeting a fourth-gen K-pop track in a U.S. court shows that K-pop has become so globally dominant that legacy Western music institutions are now actively treating them as primary legal targets.
That is a massive shift from even 5 years ago.
Huge shift.
It proves the market share is now large enough to warrant aggressive international litigation. ADOR is conducting their internal review to address the claims formally, but it definitely adds an immense layer of legal pressure to a group that is already carrying a massive portion of the agency's portfolio.
For sure. And, the scrutiny in this industry isn't just legal, it's deeply personal.
Like the KQ Entertainment news.
Yes. Coming out of KQ, we received a sudden, shocking update regarding ATZ. Yoonho has reportedly ended a long-term relationship.
Wow. And the fact that an idol's personal breakup immediately becomes international news circles, right back to our conversation about Munich, honestly.
It totally does. The surveillance and the expectation of purity or availability placed on these artists is just suffocating. It is a testament to the intense, unyielding scrutiny these artists live under every single day.
It really is. To step away from the heavy industry news for a moment, though, let's talk about a palate cleanser.
Yes, please, we need it.
The K-drama world is delivering some incredible escapism right now. Agent Kim reactivated, dropped episodes 5 and 6 this week, and the tension is genuinely keeping fans on the edge of their seats.
Oh my gosh, the big question going into this week was so simple. Does Doo-Hwan find Minji?
Right. And the writers handled that question brilliantly. They completely subverted the typical tired near-miss trope.
I was so relieved they didn't do the umbrella thing.
Exactly. Usually in these spy thrillers, characters narrowly miss each other in a coffee shop or a train station purely by coincidence. But the writers didn't do that here.
No, they used the biometric lock on the safe house as the narrative mechanic.
Which was so smart.
Doo-Hwan had the right location, but because Minji had actively triggered the lockdown protocol in episode 4, the system registered his approach as a threat.
Right, sealing the blast doors just seconds before he could breach the perimeter.
It grounded the tension in realistic logic rather than cheap coincidence. Every time he got close, the narrative threw in a mechanical curveball that felt completely earned.
It's a perfect example of why K-dramas have such a grip on global audiences. They respect the viewer's intelligence while keeping the emotional stakes sky high.
They really do. It's phenomenal writing.
But, bridging that fictional tension back to the very real tension in the industry, we're witnessing an evolution that agencies might not be ready for.
How do you mean?
Well, you have idols like V taking on massive 500 billion won global pushes with Jinro, transcending the traditional group dynamic to become standalone lifestyle brands. You have legacy groups losing foundational members like Win-Win, and massive international legal battles hovering over top-tier groups like New Jeans. The industry is rapidly outgrowing its old models.
Agencies are definitely scrambling to adapt. I mean, they are trying to manage idols who command $100 million export milestones while simultaneously trying to manage the fallout when the human reality of these artists clashes with fan expectations.
Like the privacy invasions we are seeing on the ARIRANG Tour.
Exactly. It is a terrifying tightrope walk between hypervisibility and complete vulnerability.
Which brings us to the final provocative thought I want you to mull over today. As the Hallyu wave continues to swell and these artists become increasingly intertwined with multinational corporate interests like funding a massive factory expansion into Vietnam just on the power of their face, where exactly is the line between an idol's authentic human self and their status as a global commodity?
And maybe more importantly, as the consumers driving this massive economy, how much of that humanity are we willing to fiercely protect, even when it gets in the way of our entertainment and access?
You've been listening to Starscope K-Report, where Eric and Minji bring you the stories shaping K-pop, K-dramas, and the global Hallyu wave. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.